Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur advice giver. And welcome to the Colt Sebastian Taylor Philly Free Fringe advice show, here live on Facebook, here in my secret underground bunker. Now, before we begin, I am going to need to share this event elsewhere. I don't quite have the technical support here. Roger the Warehouse Monster is not here to help me out to share this out, so I need to share this out across all of my social media networks so we get as much participation as possible. Okay. And so the idea of this show is that I am going to be available for at least an hour, and I am going to pretty much answer any questions you might have, be it financial or personal or just anything that you might need in terms of advice. Now, with that said, I want to make it perfectly clear that I am by no means a doctor, lawyer, or financial planner, or a holy man. So before you make any sort of final decisions, be sure to consult your own personal lawyer, financial provider, or deity before you make any sort of life-changing decisions. I'm only going to offer you some tips and things I've come across over my experiences that may help you make a final decision. All right, I'll post this here. Anyone online quite yet? Nope, and that's fine. So I'm going to be here for an hour, and we're going to see what happens. If no one shows up, which is a possibility that I am perfectly okay with, then I'm just going to review my whiskeys I have behind me from the wonderful folks at the Manatani Steelworks. They are lovely folks based out of Pottstown, make some delightful spirits. I certainly recommend that you check them out. Okay. And also, from what I understand, don't want to make any promises, but I might have a special guest calling in here pretty soon. And then I might give out a phone number for those wide-ranging folks who want to give a ring and can call me up one at a time and ask me whatever questions they would like. All right, I think this is my final post. Pretty sure everyone is aware that I am now live. Thank goodness. And, why, hello. It's my good friend, James Bradford. Oh, side note, I am about a 30-second delay compared to what you're seeing right now. So if you post something, I'm not going to get it until about 30 to 45 seconds later. So I'm not ignoring you unless I am. But funny you should say, not funny, but like James Bradford here, because I, my friends, will be appearing at his show that I will discuss very shortly as soon as I post this link to this show at one more location, and then we will be good to go. James might even call in, which would be just delightful. He's just a delight to talk to. All right, one last post of this wonderful show, and then we will get to discussing whatever you would like. 2 people viewing. Well, that's delightful. So, James, since you're watching my lovely show here, if you have any sort of questions you need advice about, hey, time to ask. I am a consummate expert in almost nothing, but an amateur expert in just about everything. I would like to say that I know just a little bit about a lot, and more than happy to share that advice with you. All right. One last post. There we go. See, unfortunately, with this, I can't exactly just have all the links set up and ready to go. I kind of have to do it as I'm doing it. It's not as handy as you might think. Oh, I see. This is such a hassle. Would be a much easier way to inform people that I'm live, but apparently not. There's the advice I need. All right. But fortunately, I bet no one is here yet except for James, maybe one other person, and super. Bloop. Okay. All right. Here we are. All right. Okay. Mr. James is just chilling with some cantaloupe and grapefruit LaCroix seltzer. In terms of seltzers, I do like to frequent some here and there. I am a fan of the bubbly or Blue Blay if you are watching the commercials. And it's my preferred seltzer. I mean, I think a seltzer is a delightful seltzer to try out. I'm particularly fond of the lemon and the lime and the cherry. So I got 3 favorites. All right. Any other? Oh, yes. Yeah, you might have more of a 30-second delay. Who knows? It's hard to say. Fair enough. Colt would like to have a death fight for Win My Hand, which, you know what, is not the first time that has been said to me. I have to find that it's mostly the beard. It's certainly not the voice, because the voice is terrible, really. It's just very nasally, and I'm surprised anyone really enjoys listening to this voice whatsoever. But hey, I'm a handsome adventurer, and so that's exactly what it is. And 6 people, which is delightful. So speaking of seltzers, like I said, I am a big fan of the bubbly. I've tried some Deer Park, which is okay. Sparkling ice water I do enjoy from time to time. Not just because they gave me some prizes for a contest. I do legitimately like their product. We might have a call here soon. And all right, so like I said, we have quite a few people, 7 people now for this delightful advice show that I'll be doing for at least an hour. And then if everyone eventually leaves, I will be reviewing some whiskeys, and we'll see how well that goes. It's quite delightful. So for those who've just joined, welcome to the Colt Sebastian Taylor Advice Show here for the Free Fringe Philly. Costs absolutely no money to view this show as part of the entire festival, really, of free shows in Philadelphia, and too many to even talk about, but they have many going on. They have a cabaret every night, and I myself will be appearing on Thursday at James Bradford's Panic Trauma Sex. I should have written this one. Oh, James, what was that? I wrote this down wrong. Go figure. But it's a cabaret of calamity at Taboo. I think I wrote down Panic Trauma Sex Distributor. Distributor. I'm the worst. But I'll be appearing there. I'll be appearing there along with Sir Dunks, Flashy Ho, Fancy Dismount Stratton, James Bradford, Georgia Peach, and surprise guests featuring on-site photography by Pirate Pebbles McWhorter. So you should definitely check out that show down there. I'll be doing a live product demonstration of some stress relieving products. No idea what they are, so I guess we'll find out. So for those who are here, feel free to ask me any question that you would like. I'd be happy to answer it as best as I can. I will mention that, just as a reminder, I'm not an expert or a licensed lawyer, doctor, financial planner, or priest. So before you make any life decisions, consult your lawyer, doctor, financial planner, or deity before you make any sort of rash decisions. I'm only here to offer you the best advice I can give you from the multitude of experiences I've had. I am not an expert, but I do know a little about a lot, and more than happy to share. So, since no questions have come in yet about any particular topics, I am going to talk about, yes, here we are. The Manti Stillworks, one of my favorite whiskeys. They're peated straight malt whiskey, a limited batch. There are no more bottles of this, and as you can see, I've enjoyed it immensely over the last few months. And I'll probably be sampling that here fairly soon. But you should really support your local distilleries. A lot of these people are very sort of startups. Pennsylvania has made it a little bit easier now for people to start their own distilleries and breweries. And if at all possible, if you can buy Pennsylvanian, if you live in Pennsylvania, you should do so. It's high quality product, and the people there are very, very nice. I often drop by once every 2 months to say hello, and they have bottling nights there where you get together with a bunch of people and you will bottle 1,200 bottles of whiskey. They give you pizza, and it's a very fun and very interesting experience. It's a very manual process, actually. There's no robots to help bottle whiskey, at least not, I'm sure Jack Daniels probably has some robots, but who knows about that? I don't know. All right, well, there we are. Oh, sorry. Okay, there we are. It's not scrolling. All right. All right, Betty J. Smithsonian, please ask your questions. And let me read James here first. I want to travel the world and see all the sights, but I can't seem to find a wealthy boo to fund those adventures. Where can I find a wealthy adventurer who will bring me around the world in exchange for my charming company? James, I mean, that's a great question. And that's not an easy one either. Starting off, very, very difficult question here. My recommendation would be to perhaps open a bar in the Himalayas, maybe Tibet, hang out there for a bit, and then eventually an old flame will show up looking for your father's amulet, and then maybe he will take you around the world, and then, let's say 20 or 25 years later, he'll show up again after you've had a child together for a less than exciting adventure, but like, hey, they gave it a good enough shot as it is. I would say Craigslist, but maybe that's not the best place to go. Generally speaking, wealthy adventurers hang out at private clubs, so I would say maybe try to find a very nice private club that has people with pith helmets and vests walking in, and then maybe you might be able to find someone. All right, next question. Distraction. I knew that. Ari Sorkin, how does one get such a beautiful beard? Well, that's an excellent question too. It's not easy. Not everyone can grow a beard like this. Some people get a little patchy. Some people just got like a little peach fuzz and stuff like that. You really don't know what you have to work with until you just kind of just let yourself go. So I would say let yourself go, see how it looks, go to a professional barber, and try to shape it. Some people might not only work well with this little short beard jam here. I used to have that for a while. You want to avoid maybe like the ZZ Top unless you can really work it. If you play the guitar, ZZ Top it. But this is a good length for me. The trick is not to flare out, like you look like a Civil War reenactor, and so you want beard oil. So all right. Who introduced me to that distillery? The Manhattan, the Manhattan Distillworks. Well, my brother, I believe is. Stallion Taylor, I forget his first name at the moment, but my brother C. Stallion Taylor introduced me to that distillery, and what a wonderful choice it was. I totally fell in love with the distillery. He's also an adventurer. You see him sparingly in my videos. He's not very much a video person. I believe his nephew will one day pop up in my video. Well, my nephew, his son. Will pop up in my video one of these days. My nephew has already got the adventuring down, and once he gets to the speaking level, he will he'll appear in my videos. Next from Betty J. Smithsonian, where did I get this bear? That's a delightful question. Well, as you may know, I used to work for a company called Taylor Gifts, who went into bankruptcy and then got bought out by someone else. And I left about a month before they finally went under. And so this was in the office of my immediate supervisor, and he had got a new job a year before, and then when he that was in the office of his supervisor, and the supervisor before him. You might remember him as being No Fun Ben. He appeared in a few of my videos. Well, when he left, he said, hey, Colt, I'm going to bequeath this to you. And I said, great. I will now bequeath this bear to the person who takes over my spot when I leave. Well, after about a year, it looked like that perhaps they were going to go out of business. So about a week before I left there, I stole the bear. Yep, stuck in my bag, walked on out, and I'm glad I did because a month later, they went out of business, and then 2 months later, they auctioned everything off, and I wasn't going to try to buy that at an auction. So this is the last remaining vestiges of my old previous occupation at Ye Old Taylor Gifts, and so that was my office mate there. That's the bear there. He has several signs. Gone fishing, welcome to the lake, welcome to the cabin, and welcome campers. So that is that's the bear story. All right, Stephanie, what if you don't like whiskey? Rum, I guess. Beer, I guess. Water, there's nothing wrong with a nice seltzer and water. You do a shot of seltzer while everyone else. I mean, you don't have to drink, but I would say if you don't like whiskey right now, maybe you just haven't found the right whiskey. Maybe. All right, next. Oh, well, playing here. Okay, whiskey. Gulp. More whiskey. Fetish. What's your theory about a warm winter this year? Warm, wet, cold, or snowy? Well, thank you, Tracy Dice, another good friend of mine, I believe. You know what? Farmer's Almanac, I believe, mentioned it being a wet and snowy winter, but they usually leave themselves like a little bit of wiggle room about how that is. Hard to say. I'm going to predict right now, and you can feel free to hit me up later about if I'm right or wrong. I think we will get at least one good blizzard, like enough blizzard like it takes 3 or 4 days to get things okay. First day's gonna be a mess. Second day, like it's a mess, but you can get out if you have to. Only on day 3 and 4, it's going to be like, okay, now I can poke around outside. So I say it'll be cold and snowy with one good blizzard. Where do you get your beard oil? Well, where do I get my beard oil? I believe at the moment, some sort of essential oil company that like Natural Living Oil, Oil Barons, one of those folks. Is he single? Me? No, unless the price is right. All right. Betty Smithsonian had beer in 11th grade. His name was Jason. Good choice. How do you support your exploring lifestyle from Ari Sorkin? Hey, excellent question. It's hard being an adventurer. I mean, just the bar bills alone are ridiculous. Well, actually, every once in a while, I get sent products to test out. You might see them videos I post on YouTube and whatnot, and so I take those items and then usually sell them, and that's usually more than enough to fund my adventures, which, if you have noticed of lately, have usually just been inside this bunker and occasionally outside. But if a wealthy benefactor out there would like to fund me more regularly, more than happy to take someone else's money. He needs a sign that says wolf. Google it. Yeah, that would be quite the bear. Please do a shot of whiskey and then you'll end. Which is the best snack to pair with your favorite whiskey? Well, I mean, I'm not going to do a shot of whiskey, but I will. Please take shots every question you answer. I don't know about that one. Because then this show will be a whole lot shorter. Oh, we have a phone call. We'll see who this may or may not. I don't know this phone number. Probably a telemarketer. All right, because I haven't even had the phone number yet. All right, so this is from the man who still works. Peated straight malt whiskey, sip, and then my favorite snack. You know what? I do like the those flip chips that are like chip on one side, pretzel on the other side. Just the right amount of, salt and deliciousness that pairs well with almost any whiskey. All right, please take shots after every question. No. It's a luscious beard. Thank you. You can call in a moment there, Mr. Bradford. Yes, there is a bit of a gray stripe here. It started out here and is slowly moving down. I expect it to go all the way down, around, under the undercarriage, and then back up again through the back of my head. Again, so it looks like I got hit with a paintbrush. Where's the special lady? Well, she's on her own adventure. So, I mean, she's probably nearby. Where is Jessica Snow and Christian Shear? That's a great question. Where are my two friends? They're probably doing improv comedy or some sort of comedy-related thing. They're very talented, so they probably have very important things to do and can't quite make it. Betty specifically, I appreciate that you want me to do more shots, but I still have another 40 minutes here, so let's get to the end of this. Oh, hey, there's Jessica Snow. There we are. Oh, hey, Christian Shear's there too. How should one select a spirit animal? Oh my goodness, that's a delightful question. It's not easy. First and foremost, don't go to a shaman, or medicine woman because they're most of them are shysters. You don't want to give your money away to somebody who doesn't really know what they're talking about. But I feel to pick a proper spirit animal, you need to really get one with the nature. Go to a local national park, spend at least 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 hours there. Hydrate, bring a phone and GPS in case you get lost, and then pick the biggest tree you can find and sit down and think to yourself, if I was an animal here right now, what would I want to be? And the first or second thing you come up with, that's a very good candidate. Now, in this situation, if you come across an animal that you make eye contact with, and it sticks there for a while, that might be your spirit animal. Don't bring a dog with you because they'll do that anyways, thinking you have a treat. But now, if a bear chases you, don't wait until they stare at you. Leave. Okay. Often the best way to escape a bear is to make sure you have a friend with you who is slower. So that's kind of a 2-for-1 advice there. Next question: is there a story with one of the characters behind you? Why, yes, there is. This one here I picked up in Boston at a eTail East conference. eTail is a business conference for online marketers, and they enjoyed me so much they invited and paid all my expenses to come out to Boston to hang out with their CEOs, interview them, put together a bunch of videos. I have an entire video series about this. And at one of their networking parties, they had a person who drew things, and I sat down, and while conducting interviews, that person drew me. They also paid to fly me all the way out to Palm Springs for 2 consecutive years, where I hung out there and interviewed a bunch of people and bluffed my way into a lot of parties that I wasn't invited to. But I walked around all day with my pith helmet and vest, so I'm not saying I was a celebrity, but I was kind of a celebrity. And then this one, I won as part of a prize for Dragon's Milk, which is a type of, I believe, stout. Yes, bourbon barrel-aged stout. And I didn't come in first place, unfortunately. I came in like runner-up, so they drew this picture of me, and hey, that's good enough for me. And so it's not one of my prizes. All right. How often do you cross the river? Schuylkill River, I would say multiple times a week, at least 10. Delaware River, maybe once or twice a month. Jessica Snow is here. Yes. And Kristen is here. What is a country you would like to visit? Oh, gosh. Well, I've been to Ireland, which I enjoyed immensely. I told one joke there, and only one joke there. They said, "Oh, Colt, how do you like Ireland?" And I said, oh, it's great. It's the only place I can go where people aren't asking me if I'm Irish every 5 minutes. And they thought it was the funniest thing they ever heard, and so they gave me a free drink at every bar I went to. I'm not saying I am the Duke of Ireland, but I'm certainly welcome back. Also, wouldn't mind visiting Japan or Australia, because that seems like they'd be very interesting places to visit. All right, from James Bradford. Sometimes when I go to sleep, my feet get freezing cold. So my question is, boxers or briefs? For you, I would suggest boxers. For me, you'll have to save that for another question. Is that a vintage beer sign hanging behind me? Yes, that one right there. From Blatz. That's an inheritance from my grandfather, the late great Donald J. Taylor, out in Western Pennsylvania. He bequeathed me that beer sign, among many other things, when he passed away. And so I just kind of hang it up there to honor his delightful and wonderful memory. Shots. Well, I'll do a sip because I get drunk real fast, and then it turns into just a mess. It's going to be a trash panda. Thanks, Colt. Oh, perfect. Raccoon's a mighty fine choice for a spirit animal. If the bear chases you, put on a plaid shirt, give him a bag of Doritos. By next weekend, you will be vacationing together in P-Town. This is a science fact. I don't have science that disagrees with that. So sure. All right, 12 comments. They're flying through here. Oh, Mr. Victor Filiello is here. Hello there, sir. From the famous Philly Mag, mind you. Often people are also yelling at him for the articles that he wrote. All right, what else here? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Oh, man. Okay, I would put on the caveat that if I'm living anywhere in the world, I can also travel anytime I want to. I love visiting the Aran Islands in Ireland. Beautiful islands, get everywhere on a bike, very windy, very cool, very good food. And I like the fact that if someone wanted to come to see me, they would have to get on a boat. All right. James, how did it feel to be personally chosen by Joey Lawrence to stalk Elvis? Fantastic. For those who are wondering, I saved the world with Joey Lawrence once from Time Bandits, and as a reward, I got kicked in the chest by Elvis. The video explaining that is on my channel. Should your nephew dress up in a pith helmet for Halloween? Yes. Stephanie, does your fish sing? No. It's like 25 years old. Another something that's bequeathed to me by my grandfather. And would you swim in the Schuylkill? I would say if the conditions were right, I would swim in the Schuylkill. I would have to, what's the word am I looking for? Have to be paid for that? Because it's kind of not, I mean, it's not as dirty as it could be, but it's, it's not like, swimming on the beach. It's still like a dirty river. All right. We're all cut up. Fantastic. There we are. Wow. That's 52 comments so far, and we're only about 28 minutes in. That is just delightful. So since I'm at the end of the questions, for you, Myth-Bitty Smithsonian, another sip of delicious peated straight malt whiskey. So for those who have just joined, all 9 of you, this is the Colt Sebastian Taylor Advice Show for the Free Fringe Philly Free Fringe, whichever the combination of words there are. A delightful free festival in Philadelphia, and has a great cabaret which you should try out every night. Some of the acts showing up there, I wrote them down here, and some of these have already performed, but just for your reference. Starting on 9/5, so this was a few days ago. Nightmare, Fuel, Pillar, Salt, and Icon, Ebony, Fierce, Sex Talk, Big Friendly Monster Cabaret, Alt Comedy at Alt Fringe, hosted by Alina Clune, Jackson's Favorites, Music Video Book Club, Upholstery and Settled Arrow, The Cock Painter, Your Sunday's Best, Awful Wrestling Presents Awful Talk, Swing 2, The Presented, Big Beltin' Bitches, Girl Poop, and Things I Like to Do instead of thinking about men. All right, $20 to swim the Schuylkill. Can you swim? $20. No, because I feel like it would take me like an hour to get there, hour for that, an hour to get back. So like, $7,500 maybe. But I would have to say, I would like to know what the location is, because I'm not gonna be swimming near the Limerick power plant. Seems like a bad idea. What's the best way to clean a house? I would say start high, work your way low, because if you start low and work your way high, the dust will get down to where you're working low, and then you have to do the same thing twice. Touch the walrus. That's a bear. There. Is there a walrus? Okay. Chug it. Well, I'll sip it, because I don't want to be slurring for the last half hour of the show, because all of you are sober, and if I'm drunk, then this is just drunk redhead time. For everyone who has action on how many times Colt was going to say delightful in the first hour, it's 7. See me for payouts. A delightful bet. What does the Irish sign behind you say? Something about splinters. It says, as you slide down the banister of life, may the splinters never point the wrong way. So that's very good. Knew you wouldn't touch that one. Oh, we have a special guest calling in. Ladies and gentlemen, right now on the phone, via some underground deep state location, you might see him on CNN, MSNBC, and Bill Maher. He is also New York Times bestselling author of Everything Trump Touches Dies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's TV's Rick Wilson.
Hey, Colt, how are you, buddy?
Oh, fantastic. For those who may not know this, Rick Wilson is a never Trumper before it was cool. He's a former current Republican consultant and all-around nice guy on Twitter, and my Twitter friend. We have never physically met, but we send each other jokes all the time. Rick, thank you for calling on my private Colt Sebastian Taylor show line. I've had a few whiskeys, so thank you for joining us.
Well, you know what? That's always a good way to continue the evening, having a few whiskeys. And happy to be with you, and congratulations on kicking off the new broadcast here.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? I think that you are probably the of any of the Free Fringe Philly shows going on in this festival in Philadelphia right now, you might be the most famous cameo to appear at any of these shows, which is the type of it's the type of quality I bring to the table, and that's probably why I think I should be Twitter verified. But we'll see what happons.
Well, look, if my infamy is good for you, then I'm happy to help.
well, I tell you what. Before I've been on Twitter for a while, but once Rick here, I guess, came across my jokes I sent him, I have quadrupled or 10 times the amount of people who see my random jokes. So Rick's the type of person, even though we're probably on different sides of the ideological spectrum, we both respect funny jokes when they're made by funny people.
Well, if people can't appreciate humor from whatever ideological perspective, fuck them.
Absolutely. You heard it from Rick Wilson himself. So Rick, you are probably one of the smartest folk I know. Did you need any advice tonight?
Did I need advice tonight? Honestly, I'm kind of full up on advice. I usually end up giving advice rather than taking it.
Yeah, and you make a very good living at it too, my friend.
I have been known to give people advice here and there.
Yes, I believe you.
Once or twice.
Maybe in book form. Who knows?
Maybe in book form, and lately in terms of appearing on television and giving people advice, including certain times starting to fuck right off.
Yeah.
That's the worst case.
Yeah, for folks, you should definitely follow Rick, because more often than not, he will Periscope before his appearance on a major network, and he'll take questions. You ask him about anything. I mean, much like my show, except he has thousands and thousands of followers. And right now, I have 8 people watching me, and this is probably the lowest rent show you've ever been on.
You know what? It all starts somewhere, Colt. It all starts somewhere.
Yes. Well, hey, it's really fantastic. Well, I'm sure you are off jetting on some Illuminati deep state plane to hang out with Anderson Cooper to plan something about Gitmo. So I won't take up any...
Something to that effect.
Something to that effect. So I want to thank you for calling, Rick. You are a delightful Twitter pal. I hope one day we will have some cryptic Instagram picture with a Q in the background that will make everyone crazy.
I believe there will be an owl and some sort of other mystical symbol will be set to jet.
Okay, I will bring the bottle. I'll bring the bottle of Ocelot, and we will have a delightful evening, sir.
I'll bring the owl.
Fantastic.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Rick. Take care. Bye. That, my friends, was a special guest, Rick Wilson. That's right, Rick Wilson on CNN, MSNBC, in Real Time with Bill Maher, and the author of Everything That Trump Touches Dies. Called me on my private line. Type of call that we have here. Very delightful for him to call in. I really appreciate it. And if this doesn't make the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer, I will not be surprised. But I think this should get a notable somewhere because, hey, who else is going to have that on a type of show like this? All right, moving on to other questions. I love me a ginger. Like ginger brandy? There you are. Okay. Stephanie has made a new friend. James is pretty famous. Okay, yeah, that's right. All right, let's see. My friend James. Now that we got one special guest out of the way, I didn't want to cut you off, whatnot. James, if you'd like to call in and whatnot, you can. So, yeah, that was awesome. Like I said, I've never met Mr. Rick Wilson. Like I said, he leans much to the right. I lean much to the left, but he often retweets my jokes and appreciate. I send them, private jokes to you sometimes, and it was fantastic that he took the time out of his day to give me a ring. He usually is on CNN. He was on a Facebook live show with exactly 8 to 9 people watching. Fantastic. Thank you, Mike. I try to be entertaining. I think if there's one thing most people say about me, it's you've got a nice beard. Number 2, what most people say about me is, why is he wearing that pith helmet? But number 3 on that list is, I am entertaining. I try my best. I'm glad you like it. Well, let's see who this is.
One, to send a voicemail, press...
Hi, you've reached Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Hi, is this James?
It sure is.
Hey, it's James Bradford from the Panic Sex Trauma Cabaret, which I will be appearing on Thursday. And I'm sorry you have to follow the hilariously what's the word I'm looking for? It says fuck-a-lock Rick Wilson, but you're the second caller. Welcome.
Oh, thanks for giving me permission to call. That was so gracious of you.
Well, I figured if as soon as you would call, he might call, and I have to bump you for someone who's hung out with Anderson Cooper, and would hate to have to hang up on you to take his call.
Well, all right. Now let's be clear. I have also hung out with Anderson Cooper. It was
really
just behind a stall. Well, sure, but it was in a restroom stall, so not quite the same.
Okay, not quite the same, but on another note, you are also the only caller, so I'm also gonna put that there.
Well, that's good. I'm wearing my fancy Bluetooth headphone.
Okay. Did that phone call sound okay? I never really tested how it sounded.
You sound great. Do I sound okay?
I mean, you sound great. How did the phone call sound? It was
fantastic. I think Rick, you and me should form a band. That's how great we sound.
Okay, fantastic, man. Well, I will let him know. I mean, he's very, very, very polite on Twitter, except for folks who are, let's say, Russian. So what's up, James? How can I help you tonight on my show as I continue to drink whiskey here, and I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm glad. I finished my LaCroix, and I moved on to a kombucha because I am officially an elderly hipster. So.
Well, And this beard isn't getting any redder.
Gosh, there's so many things I could ask for your advice with, Colt. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I say pick the top two and then plug your show.
Okay. Well, so I co-parent a 15-year-old.
Okay.
And you already know a little bit about this. And we had an incident tonight where we got back from the grocery store. We had bought like $300 worth of groceries to fill up the house. But apparently there was this old soft taco from Taco Bell in the back of the fridge that we had the audacity to throw away, which caused a giant teenage temper tantrum because of it not being there. And so my question is, in what states can you legally lock a child in a cage, but not Trump style, like a nice cage with like a Nintendo Wii or something inside?
Well, I think for the most part, I don't think you can lock folks away unless there's some sort of safety or mental health component to that. And even then, I think that's more of an inpatient thing that you have to like fill for and whatnot. I would say, I mean, how long was the taco in there?
Long enough that it was more of like a brick, like I could have paved it.
Mm-hmm. And what was the 15-year-old's biggest issue with tossing that away?
I want my taco.
Okay. Well, I would say to that particular person that if you feel this is a recurring issue, that perhaps in the future there could be a mini fridge purchase, and then the things you want to store and perhaps risk food poisoning with, that can be your choice. However, since you don't buy the food or pay the electricity in here, that the refrigerator at some point, old things do need to be cleared out. But if you want to, I'll just pay for the electricity. If you want to get your own mini fridge and however you want to fund that, you do that yourself, then you can store those things there. But until that time, it's you don't pay rent there, so that's where that works.
Right. I got it. So my mistake here is that you're actually going to answer these questions seriously and with a considered thought, and that was my bad.
Oh, well, you know what? I know it's very surprising, but I'm just a delightful sweetheart, and that's number 9. And I give every question here as serious thought as I can and try my best. So what's your next one, James?
Oh, I'll just dude, you answered like 5 on other things, so I'll just stick with that one. But I will plug the show.
Yes, please. I'm excited to come. I am excited to be there. I'm
excited to say the name of the show and the cast names correctly in an entire sentence.
Oh, that's just an adorable trait I have. So I mean,
it is. It really is. Yeah, baby, we're doing a show with Free Fringe Philly at Taboo in the neighborhood this coming Thursday the 12th. It's called PTSD, which stands for Panic Trauma Sex Distraction. And it doors open for the show starts at 8. It's a free show, obviously. Tipping is encouraged. So it's like a cabaret show we've got drag queens, drag kings, burlesque performers, stand-up comedy, and we're going to have Colt on stage with myself with an audience participation-based demo of several products that, according to their descriptions, are designed to like relieve stress and make life less stressful. But Colt has no idea what those products are going to be.
No idea.
Maybe they'll be a little embarrassing. Maybe they'll be a little shocking. You'll have to show up and find out. No nudity from Colt. There might be nudity in the evening, but not from Colt. Well, actually, I guess that's up to Colt.
I feel like I don't. I think that's if you're good at something, don't give it away for free. So like I look good naked. I don't think I'm prepared to make that part of the Free Fringe Philly. I will have to. How many we get. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you're getting a lot as it is right now. I mean,
I totally understand.
I mean, I don't know why people mistake me for bears, but apparently I look like a bear. I don't understand that term. So they say, "Hey, bear," like I'm not.
Do you really not understand that term? Because we can have a lesson real quick.
No, I know.
All right, I didn't think that. So yeah, it's this coming Thursday at Taboo. You can go to jamesbradford.net facebook.com/PTSD. And it'll have all the details and a link to the Facebook event page. And it's free, so nobody has an excuse not to come out and party.
And the event is also on my Facebook page. You can get details there, too. It's all the same event. It's also linked to my page.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, James. Hey, thanks for calling in.
All right, man. Have a good rest of your show. I'll talk to you later.
I will. Take care. I'll see you Thursday.
Bye.
Well, you just heard there the delightful James Bradford and the unbelievably professional and gracious Rick Wilson just called into the show. Listen, I didn't want to half-ass this advice show, so only the best for you. In fact, I would love to do this every week. I mean, I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy giving out advice. But here's the thing. It does take a little time to put this together, and it is a free show. So what I need is to find a sponsor. Some sort of sponsor. You know who would be a great sponsor? But probably unlikely to pull that one off. But yeah, if someone wanted to sponsor a weekly show, of course I would do it. It'd be fantastic. All right, more questions. It looks like you need more whiskey in your glass. Yeah, can't argue with that. A little more ice. Came prepared. What's your favorite David Hasselhoff production? Oh, man. You know what is a really underrated David Hasselhoff production? I don't know that. Let me, Mr. Jeff Johnson Curry, another delightful associate of mine. That's 10. When you say David Hasselhoff production, you mean something he actually produced or something he's actually appeared in? So I need a little bit of clarification on that particular question before I can answer it. There we are. Oh, this is such a good whiskey. I saved it for tonight because you, the 7 people watching, deserved it. Oh, Mr. Greg D. Mr. Greg D's here. Old associate of mine. Also, from what I understand, an early big supporter of the N Crowd. From what I understand, from what people have mentioned to me, was a big supporter of the early days and a very all-around nice guy, Mr. Greg D. Candia, which I'm saying wrong. I haven't seen him for a while. He's a very fun guy. Open-ended. Let's see here. You know what? And you will have to track this down. But before the movie Iron Man came out, and Samuel L. Jackson portrayed Nick Fury, David Hasselhoff played him in a made-for-TV movie where he was Nick Fury, head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Never watched the movie, only seen a few clips. Had David Hasselhoff, had the eye patch and everything. I think that one is probably my favorite David Hasselhoff production where he blew through. Also was fun to see him cameo in anything, really. Guardians of the Galaxy was a pretty funny cameo. What's my favorite obscure movie scene or quote? Oh, my goodness. That's a hard one. There are a lot. I suppose one of my favorites is from the movie Clue, starring Tim Curry and a multitude of other people, where Tim Curry goes to Martin Mull, and Martin Mull says, "Oh, how do you know that?" And Tim Curry says, "Can you keep a secret?" Martin Mull goes, "Yes." And Tim Curry goes, "Yeah, so can I." And so that's my favorite obscure movie quote. Yeah, I would say that one. There's a few from Blazing Saddles that I don't think I can properly quote, but there's a few good ones in that one also. All right, coming up to minute 50 of the Colt Sebastian Taylor Advice Show. I plan to do at least an hour, probably no more than an hour, and I think it's been a smashing success. I think at one point we had 12 people here, and that was 11 more than I was expecting. We had the great James Bradford call in. We had the great Rick Wilson call in. I did not post a phone number for everyday folks to call in because, well, that kind of would probably end up being a hassle. Besides, if they're reading it here on Facebook, then they probably could have easily asked a question there also. So I think I'm gonna take just a moment here, and I'm going to share this in a few more places, just so everyone is seeing the wonderfulness of this particular production. All right, let's see here. Are you a prepper? I would say in the strictest sense, no. I do not have barrels of, dehydrated food in the corner of the basement. I don't have a go bag filled with water, a pistol, and a map. I don't have seeds dry freeze so I can start my own garden. I don't have a bug out bunker that I will go to in case the polar things switch. I watch a lot of programs. These prepper folks are, if anything, thorough. With that said, I like to keep up to date with what the current world political trends are. I always check in with weather. If something terrible did happen, I do have a sort of mental how to get from point A to point B. Always have a few bottles of water inside my car just in case. And let's see here. I also always have at least a half a tank of gas in the car because you never know. So I would say I'm not a prepper per se, but I try to keep myself rather prepared so I'm not stranded somewhere. So if I get stuck somewhere, I should be able to get to somewhere else without too much of a problem. All right, well, that's not it. Let me share this one more time to various places so I can maybe get a few more people here before I sign up for the evening. Yes, share the timeline. Yes, thank you very much. Share one more time. This is probably the most riveting parts of the entire show, me sharing stuff. I don't have a production crew, which I should, but I don't. All right, I think we got another question. Oh, okay. From the great Jessica Snow. Colt, I am overwhelmed unpacking at my new house. I'm trying to take it little by little, but it feels like I will never be finished. Are there any tricks, or do I just keep plugging along and supplement with whiskey? Well, I think it kind of depends on how you packed. Now, if I know you as well as I think I know you, I feel like it should have been fairly organized, not just throwing stuff in boxes. I would say unpack essentials, so like your toothbrush, your underwear, your shoes, your clothes, stuff like that, like enough clothes for the week. And then every day, make a point to knock out at least 3 boxes. They can be big boxes, tiny boxes, but try to do at least three every day, and eventually you'll knock that down. It can be very rewarding to toss away cardboard boxes and whatnot, but you shouldn't I would say don't try to complete an entire one room at a time. I would say get the essentials of each room and then rotate through every room so you're not getting bored with some room. And I think it will probably go faster. Or invite someone over and share your whiskey with them and make a night of it, I would say. Fun question. What whiskey are you drinking? All right, more. Miss Karen Coleman Hinders is here. Can you explain the eyewear on the bear behind you? Oh! Goggles. I had a pair of goggles for a video, and then I was done with them. I said, hey, bet that bear will look good in goggles. So I put goggles on. 89 comments so far. Wow, that's about 80 more than I expected. I'm going to say that this is probably the most successful Free Fringe Philly, Fringe Philly Free, Free Philly Fringe Free Facebook Live show that has ever been done. How do I get excited about eating dinner? What should I eat for dinner? Good question. Well, when I am often confronted with that question, it kind of boils down to what is currently available. What's in the house? If I don't like that, what can be closest done to me? The trick is not to always, go to the fast food. You don't always want to make like McDonald's your go-to all the time. Fast food has its place, but try to have a variety and whatnot. I find there are some, not super healthy, but delicious, not too terrible choices at a Wawa or Sheetz. Sheetz has these great, little chicken and boom boom sauce wraps that are delicious, which I don't think any Sheetz are maybe where you are, but if you come out where I am, I could let you have some. You have to buy them, but I could show you where to get them. Mr. Jeremy Ellis, who in your family typically wins Cards Against Humanity? Great game. That's hard to say. It's usually fairly spread out. Who won the last one? I honestly don't know. It's a spread. There's definitely no one who loses all the time, but even everyone, including my grandmother, occasionally amazingly wins and has a terrible dirty mind. You might have seen her in my videos, the world's greatest grandmother. Oh God. Okay. Whoa. Missed one. I'm drinking Lahara Triplewood Scotch. Ooh, there you go. I don't have a man tonic at the moment. Thanks for the advice. Oh well, I will have to rectify that some evening. Miss Snow, have to come and visit you and share. Let's see here. There. Maybe this. Delightful Keystone whiskey. Their award-winning whiskey. But the man tonic still works. They have a tasting room down in Philadelphia somewhere. You can try to get one of these bottles. I mean, they're not your bathtub whiskey sort of whiskey, but the value you're paying for, high quality. R.A. Sorkin, Wawa or Sheetz? Oh. The question for the ages. The Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, John Fetterman, would probably say Sheetz, but he's a former mayor of Braddock, Pennsylvania, and that's all they have out there, Sheetz. I think both bring a lot to the table. Sheetz is like a deli with a gas station Wawa. Wawa is like a deli with a gas station, where Sheetz is like a fast food joint with a gas station. Both have really delicious choices. I would say if you were going to pick something that was like, I don't want to get the fast food taste genre of food, Wawa. If you don't mind a little bit of grease and debauchery, indulgence, Sheetz. I would say though, Sheetz has a better loyalty program than Wawa. Wawa's loyalty program where you pay with the app works fine, but like the rewards that you get are not very good. I'm not a big fan of the rewards you get at Wawa. Sheetz, much better. All right, we are approaching 1 hour here, and let me check with the control room. Okay. We've informed our affiliates that we're going to be running a little bit long. So your local news will be appearing after this broadcast. And for those who want to watch Roger the Warehouse Monster Curling competition, along with the Duke of the Warehouse and Hungry Steve and the Love of Liza, please tune to ESPN 9, where that's currently broadcasting live. Wawa, whoops, one moment. Be surprised how often I knock that off. It's not super secure. I lean towards Wawa, but only because I grew up with it. But if you want to treat yourself to some decadence, head to sheets. Royal Farms. You know what? I don't know if I've ever frequented a Royal Farm, so I will have to search one out here in Berks County and check it out. How dare you? How dare me? There, madam. I'm someone who is tolerant of all gas stations. I even enjoyed frequenting a Turkey Hill from time to time. Yeah, they are. They're a little bit. Oh wow. All right, nerd. Will Go Wawa ever meaningfully come back? I liked it better than Foursquare. No. All right, friends. I think it's time for us to wrap up. Solid hour and 1 minute and seconds. Want to thank everyone for tuning in for this delightful free advice show here at Free Philly Fringe. Check them out online. I will be posting links to the entire festival, James Bradford show, Rick Wilson's book, and Why Not the Man Tony Still Works. Be sure to check all these places out. Thank you for tuning in. And 102 comments. Well, I've 102 comments, 1 hour, more than enough. Will I be having one of these ever again? Probably not, but you never know. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and also my YouTube channel, where I do a variety of videos, product demonstrations, a regular Colt Sebastian Taylor show with a green screen, and it is a great time. All right. Thank you to all of you also. Until next time, friends and fellow adventurers, I am Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.